Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver, and joining me today is none other than Logan Ragnarok, the breaker of spines himself. The uncaged breaker of spines is here, and I can't believe it, Logan. You came in on such short notice, and we're going to talk about a little bit of everything, but let's go all the way back, Logan. Who was the first person that you can remember that really set you on fire for professional wrestling and made you go, that's what I want to do?
So it was on April 3rd, 2011. So I was 10 years old at that time. And I remember seeing the Big Show for the very first time. And I was like, that dude is huge. And then I just like saw him like, destroy a lot of people in the ring. I'm like, maybe that's what I want to be one day. And I think as time went on, all these different characters, these different personalities started coming in, and it just reminded me of like superheroes. And like us kids, when you're a kid, when you see a wrestler, they remind of that kid of a superhero. So that's what I wanted to be, as I got older. And now I want to be that for future generations.
Very wise to do that, sir, because you have the opportunity not only to inspire, but also mold the next generation of professional wrestlers with what you've chosen to do. So I have to applaud you for that first and foremost. Secondly, how did you break into the business? Who trained you? And what's the journey been like so far?
So I went to the Nightmare Factory in Atlanta, Georgia, by Cody Rhodes and QT Marshall and Glacier. That's how I got started. So before that, me and my best friend went to an AEW event in December of 2021. And then, I met, Cody's wife, Brandy. And then I think that's when it really got me the sort of the inspiration to take that leap of faith and just apply to that school, and see what happens, and the rest is history.
Absolutely. And you have landed at some great spots in professional wrestling, including this next one that we're going to talk about, which is the School of Morton. How did you end up and wind up at the School of Morton? What was the door like that it opened up and swung for you to get in?
So it was, I think it was recommended to me by someone, that I heard they ran every Sunday. And, I remember my debut there. It was last summer, so I remember facing Sean Crum, and I had a solid 10-minute match and took the stunner, and that's a memorable moment right there in the match. When you take a stunner, it's a memorable moment. And then months have passed by, and then now I'm back, and but of course there have been some ups and downs, throughout my journey in professional wrestling. And I'm just going to keep going, man, keep going until I reach the big destination.
Well, Logan, we took a 5-year hiatus where we got fired from a company, and it was 5 years before anybody let us back in the door. So whatever happens in your wrestling journey and in your wrestling career, don't worry. There's always going to be somebody. I'm going to give you the same message that Bobby gave to me. Uncle Bob was so important. He came to us in such a great time in our life right after this had happened. And he told us, he said, somewhere somebody is going to see the diamond in the rough. They're going to see that lump of coal, and they're not going to see coal. They're going to see diamond. And it might be a year. It might be a week. It might be 3 years down the road. It was 5 years for us. But somebody saw that lump of coal and saw the diamond inside of it and invited us back. So I'm very grateful to be back in the world of wrestling. And I know that you're very grateful to be inside the ring and facing people. And speaking of which, you had a hell of a match at SOM Legacy this last Sunday. We got to see bits and pieces of it. We actually got to be there and announce some of it. And man, you gave one of the most miraculous German suplexes I have ever seen, not only to anybody, but to one of the biggest, baddest men in all of professional wrestling, Max Abel. Would you like to talk about it for a moment?
Absolutely. I haven't been into the ring with anybody like Max Abel before. So this was my first time, actually second time working with someone that's a little bigger than me. So giving him that German suplex, it was a I was a little bit surprised I was able to get him up. And yeah, so at that moment, the moment I got him up for that German suplex, it was like I just like lifted a whole building. And you know especially when there's a title on the line, especially for the East Tennessee heavyweight championship, you got to do whatever you got to do to get that title.
Absolutely. And you were pulling out all the stops. I've got to say that. And Max was even surprised by how much fight you gave him. He thought that he was just going to walk in and let it be an easy fight, but you proved him wrong. You proved him that you had something inside of you that he never expected from you. And I'm going to tell you right now, the look on his face whenever you lifted him up, after you got him up in the air, he was so surprised because nobody's ever manhandled him the way that you did. I mean, that was just a feat inside of itself, Logan. Speak about it.
Well, Max Abel, he thought it was gonna be a quick 2-minute match. No, I came that close to taking that title from him. Same thing with Javen Myra in that steel cage match. These guys think that they're like these big bulldozers and they can run through anybody, thinking no one can challenge them, no one can defeat them. Yeah, what does that say when I step into that ring with them? What does that say?
Well, it says that you're ready for anything, that you'll overcome any obstacle, and it doesn't matter how many times you have to try, you eventually will get what you want. You will eventually beat whoever you need to beat and do whatever it takes to win whatever championship that you want to win inside this business. The tenacity that you have, the spunk that you have, and the fight that you bring on the inside of you is so fierce. It's predatorial like. I can't really explain it because you have to watch you in person in order to see it. They just saw a little clip of it right there, just a itty bitty, teeny weeny tiny clip. But if anybody really wants to understand that predatorial experience, you're going to have to show up to the School of Morton. And this Sunday is going to be a great opportunity for you because you are facing the Iron Raider of professional wrestling. Let's talk about that for a minute. You and Connor Martin, one-on-one inside the ring.
Absolutely. I've seen Connor's work, I've seen his matches, and yeah, he is a great athlete. He's a great performer. He grew up in the same town I grew up in. So we're basically Georgia guys, but moved to Tennessee to further his career, and I give him credit for that. And he's growing in the business, as well am I. But when there's one goal, one opportunity, I got to do what I got to do. Beat Connor Martin, become the #1 contender, and I'm taking that title one way or another. I don't care how it gets done. I don't care who gets in my way. Anyone in Tennessee will fall to Logan Ragnarok.
I would agree with you, sir. And especially with this being a #1 contenders match for that East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship, there is so much on the line for you. And you've already proven once that you can go toe-to-toe with the champion and surprise him on more than one occasion in that match that you did. You just got let's just say it was a surprise victory for Max. He didn't beat you the way that he should have beaten you. That was a cheap way to beat you inside that ring 1, 2, 3. And I'll say it right here on Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. I think that really you deserve that 1, 2, 3. You deserve to be the East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship, the East Tennessee Heavyweight Champion. And you deserve not only not to have to be in this match with Connor Martin, but to make Connor Martin face that one man, that one Max Abel one more time to be the #1 contender. What would you say to that?
Well, if Connor can't beat Max Abel, then I mean, he faced him once. Max came out on top. But when Connor gets in there with me, he's going to have to really earn it if he wants that title again. If he wants another shot at that title, he's got to get through me.
Logan, I think anything that's handed to anybody, they don't respect and they don't earn. And I'm not meaning that in a horrible way for Connor Martin, but the way that he got that title, it almost seemed like it was handed to him like, here's a gift my son. That's how it seems. And you've had to scratch and claw and fight and dig and show everybody that you're fierce. Not only are you fierce, but you'll strike at the point of precision each and every time. You're ready for it. And when it comes to this match on Sunday, you have to be ready for Connor Martin. Even though he's looking to gain that title back and gain that spot back, you have to see the Iron Raider of professional wrestling is trying to dethrone you from what I believe should be rightfully yours. Would you agree with that?
I would. You know, Connor's he's gonna put everything he has in this match, as well am I. Of course, we'll go back and forth. Something has to give, you know. Connor's he's an SOM guy, and I'm not from Tennessee. I'm from Georgia. I'm gonna drive 3.5 hours here to Newport, Tennessee, and I'll drive back 3.5 hours. The new #1 contender for the East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship.
Absolutely, sir. I would agree with you on that. I want that to happen for you so bad, Logan, especially the way that you have worked so hard to get to this point in your career. People don't understand the obstacles that you've had to face, the people that you've had to beat to get here. Speak a little bit about that.
So, the things that I had to do to get to the point where I'm at today, I work overnight, you know, and it's hard for me to go train to perfect my craft. One day that's going to change. One day I will have the time to really work on what I really want to do. I can definitely hang with some people right now, but what happens if I train more every single night? That's going to speak some volumes. That could change next week. That could change next month. That could change tomorrow. So you never know. If I were to take it if I took it just a lick, if I put in just enough time, I'll become a lethal weapon.
You're already a lethal weapon. You're a ticking time bomb. But people haven't seen it yet, Logan. They haven't seen all the fierceness that you bring, the coyote-like instinct that you have in the circle of vultures. They haven't seen that yet.
More like the Incredible Hulk or the Wolverine.
Absolutely. That's great. The Wolverine is exactly what you are. You're a Wolverine that's waiting and willing in the shadows. And if they give you just an inch, you're going to take a mile. I've seen it. I've seen it time and time again with you inside the ring. And I'm going to tell you right now, he better not take you lightly, because if he takes you lightly this Sunday at the School of Morton 128.5 Rivers Plaza in Newport, Tennessee, you will be walking away that brand new #1 contender. And there will be no doubt in anybody's mind who you are and where you've come from and what you're going to do in the future. And I hope you well, sir. I hope you well on that.
I appreciate that. Yep. Only one goal in mind is that East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship.
That East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship has so much legacy behind it, Logan. What would it mean if you were able to capture it?
In order to join the list of names that have held that title before me, it's huge. It's an honor, you know? Like, so many veterans have held that title in the past, long before I was born. And that's why I want to cement my name on that title. And I want to be known as, one of the best to ever do it,
You could be almost as big, and I'm not saying this to blow your head up, as Dr. Tom Pritchard, who submitted his blood on that title, on the very back of that title. And he put his sweat and tears into that title and made it what it is today. You have the opportunity to do that going against not only Connor Martin, but once you walk through Connor Martin, going through Max Abel. Are there any words today you would like to say to both of them?
What do I want to say? Connor, it's been nice knowing you. And Max, I'm going to take that title from you, one way or another. I'm going to say this. I'm going to crush that ego of yours. And once I rip that title from your shoulder, you can just curl up in the ring. You can cry about it.
I like the little pun there at the end. You can cry about it. Was that just a little poke at the bear there? You got to be honest here.
No. If I would have poked the bear, I would have stabbed it with a sword.
Stabbing it with a sword is what you like to do. You like to kill things. You like to make sure that they're completely dead inside the ring.
Damn right I do.
As was the case at Down Home Championship Wrestling a couple weeks ago. I want to bring the memory back. What happened there, sir?
My most recent match?
Yes, sir.
So I was in a triple threat match with Lance Tucker and WWF legend Chick Donovan. Do you remember him?
Yes, sir.
Yep, he wrestled Ric Flair, Barry Windham, the British Bulldog, the Wild Samoans, you name it. He's worked with all of them. And, of course, I didn't get the job done, but one day I will.
No doubt in my mind that you will, sir, and you will be one of the greatest of all time inside this business if you just keep your head on straight. There's one thing that we have not talked about, and that's your anger, your ferociousness, your evil side that you have when it comes to things. And we got to see a little bit of that at Legacy this past Sunday, which aired on YouTube under Ricky Morton. If you guys don't know, you might want to check that out and see everything that went on with that match with Max Abel. But you go to a different place. You get in a different time zone when you get angry. And something happens. Talk us through it. What happens when that goes down?
You know, there are certain things in life that you just can't control. When someone kicks an animal while it's down, you better pray that animal does not get back up. And once that animal has enough, you just get back up on their feet and just make them beg for mercy. And if they don't, execute.
If they don't execute, that's a very strategic point that you just mentioned. Because you've had the opportunity, you have the opportunity to do that this Sunday against Connor Martin. I know I'm kicking a dead horse here. I know I am. But I want you to be prepared as you can for the Iron Raider of professional wrestling, because he is going to give you everything that you want in this match. The question is, are you going to give it back to him and then some?
Oh, for sure. I'll definitely put everything I have into this match. Another thing, I will try my very best not to let my inner Kratos come out. Because if my inner Kratos comes out, that's bad news for Connor.
That might be exactly where you need to take this, though, especially to get past him and to get past Max Abel for the East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship. You might have to take it to that zone. You might have to let the inner Kratos come out. If that happens, what can we expect to see?
The Midgard Menace.
I like it. I like it a lot. You know the reason why I like that Midgard Menace?
What's that?
Is because you leave no mercy on the table for anybody when it comes out. When you decide that you're going to flip that switch and you turn it on, the bodies lie in the ring and around the ring and on the floor and anywhere else that you find them, in the back of the locker room. And nobody, and I mean nobody, can stop you. So you have to bring that intensity. You have to show the world that you have that intensity. And I know you can. I know not only can you bring it, and not only will you bring it, but you will be victorious if you bring it. So it's on you, sir. I'm going to let that one be. It's on you. Now, we're talked about the School of Morton just a little bit. We've talked about some of the people you faced at the School of Morton a little bit, but we've not talked about the training element that takes place at the School of Morton. If you were to recommend the School of Morton for training, what would be the number one reason?
Well, if you live in the Knoxville area, I'd say if you want to become a pro wrestler, and if you live in the East Tennessee area, go to the School of Morton, because you will get some serious knowledge out of that school. We'll have special guest coaches. You get like seminars. You get like all types of promo class. Like certain drills. Like the School of Morton is the place for you if you're in the Tennessee area.
I would reiterate that. It's the place for all the top dogs to come. Let's say it like that. If you want to be a top dog inside the industry, you want to be trained by the legends, you want to have seminars with the legends, such as EC3, Kenzie Page, none other than Casey Kazana from the NWA. If you want to be trained by Ricky Morton himself, you want to have him come down and help you every once in a while. Mike Quackenbush was there a few weeks ago. You have the ability to be that person. Casey Kazana, nonetheless, from the NWA, is one of the trainers there. I mean, it's an amazing spot. And coming up in just a couple weeks, in April 5th and 6th, we've got none other than Santino Marella going to be coming down. Is that correct?
I'm going to be there. Yep.
And here it is right here. We're going to pop it up on the screen for you guys so you can see. Santino Marella will be there April 5th and 6th, 1 p.m. seminar is what's going to be going on. $100 per person if you want to come on down. And he is offering a TNA tryout as well, I do believe. I believe that's part of the deal here, is you can be going for a tryout. The name says it all, Josh Turner says. He said Kenzie Page is the name that says it all. And that's absolutely the truth. If you're a woman and wanting to get into professional wrestling, you need to be trained by the best. And the best right now is none other than that NWA Burke Women's Heavyweight Champion, Kenzie Page. And I would be willing to put her with anybody, Logan, at any time, given any place. And Casey Kazana for sure. He's willing to fight at any time, any place, anywhere. And we saw some trickery from him. What do you think about the boot? What do you think happened there?
Well, I think he had a match with Tyler Shoup about a month or two ago, and he kind of like twisted his ankle a little bit, and then, or maybe he was tricking Shoup. Maybe he was playing possum. Who knows what could have happened?
Well, whatever happened, we know he relinquished that East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship. It moved to the hands of Connor Martin. Connor Martin dropped it to none other than Max Abel. And now Max is looking for a number one contender, and you have a number one contenders match coming up this Sunday there. Casey also came back on this last episode of Legacy, and we saw the boot come off. What do you think about the boot coming off and about him getting in the ring and trying to be the savior against the saviors?
I think what I know is Casey's a smart guy that I know of. He's the locker room leader. So if you got to fight for what you believe in, fight for what you believe in.
Very well said, sir. And that brings me back to you. Are you going to fight for what you believe in? Are you going to lay it on the line? Are you going to let the Kratos come out?
Stay tuned and find out.
You all have to stay tuned and find out. And if you want to, we will get you some special discounted tickets with our QR code to the School of Morton for this Sunday's episode. All you got to do is scan it right there. It's going to take you to ticketleap.com, which we'll be putting on the screen here shortly after I get it to pop up for me. Excuse me, guys. Right here. And you will click on Legacy. Once you're there, you will enter the promo code RABBIDBeaver. That's capital RABIDBEAVER at checkout. Get you some special discounted tickets to either of these shows, Legacy or Mayhem. But if you want to see this #1 contenders match for the East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship, you definitely want to come down to Legacy in Newport, Tennessee. That's going to be located at 128 Five Rivers Plaza in Newport, Tennessee. And believe me, guys, there is no bigger match on the card than this one right here that we're talking about right now. The #1 contender spot for the East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship. It's going down this Sunday at SOM, the School of Morton Legacy. You want to be there or be square. Buy your tickets today. Get them at a special discount price. Scan the QR code right now and let it take you to Ticket Leap to where you can get them. Now, Logan, I know you got lots of family that watch. I know you got lots of people that watch you and lots of people that come down and support you. If you could speak to anybody that's out there watching you right now that sees you in the same light that you saw the Big Show, what would you say to them?
Well, there was a quote saying, if you believe you can achieve it.
Absolutely, sir. Belief is 90% of what you can do. You have to believe in it, and somebody has to believe in you.
Sometimes, 100% discipline takes you places motivation can't.
That's a good one. That's a real good one, sir. Logan, I'm going to put you on the spot one more time. When you win that East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship, will you come back to us, sir? Will you talk to us about it?
Absolutely. I'll be back on this platform talking about how I accomplished winning the East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship.
I want you to take us step by step through it and everything that you did to accomplish that. Every heartache you had, every pain that you had, every issue you had getting to the top. And remember, ability may get you to the top, but it's going to be character and integrity and that anger that's going to keep you there, sir.
Absolutely.
Now, you guys at home, for those of you that don't know Logan Ragnarok, he is the one, the only fierce, uncaged backbreaker of spines. He himself is not only the man up for this East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship #1 contender spot, but he has a chip on his shoulder and something to prove. He has to prove to each and every one of you that he belongs. We know he belongs, but he wants to prove it to you that he belongs. And like I told you earlier, that German suplex that you gave to Max Abel this past Sunday's episode of Legacy, oh my God. Those of you that don't know, Max is over 350 pounds. He is full of weight, full of dead weight. And this man lifted him over his shoulders and threw him like a rag doll. If that doesn't tell you he belongs, I don't know what the hell does. But I'm going to tell you this. This man belongs in the pinnacle of professional wrestling where it needs to be. He needs to be in the halls of professional wrestling as they lay. And I'm going to tell you something else, Logan, not to build you up that much and not to blow your head up. But once you get to that spot that you deserve to be, you have to keep yourself at that spot. You have to keep your monster and you have to keep him out. You go to that place and you keep him out all the time.
Absolutely. If I am to make it to the pinnacle, it would either be WWE, AEW, TNA, New Japan. That's in my opinion considered the pinnacle of wrestling. No matter where you are on that card in those companies, to me, that's success. That's my version of being successful in the business. If you're selling many tickets and you're making a name for yourself, that's success. No matter if you're in WWE, TNA, and if you're selling tickets and if you're getting you or your opponent over, that's success.
Absolutely, sir. That's what we're here for. We're here to get you success. We're here to get you over. We're here to make sure that you know who you are. And we're also here to make sure that your opponent knows who they are and what they're supposed to do.
Yep.
We're trying to help you help yourself on any Wrestle Talk with Rabid Beaver. And if anybody is out there that wants to schedule a date to come on, we'd love to have you. But before we go, Logan, there's something very important that we have to share. We know that you have some bookings and some booking dates that are open and available. And if anybody out there watching wants to book you, how do they do it, sir?
You can reach out to me through Facebook at Logan Ragnarok or through Instagram, Real Logan Ragnarok. Yep, as you can see, that's my Facebook. And if you want to reach out to me, that's the way to do it. Or you can go to my Instagram and you can direct message me at Real Logan Ragnarok.
At Real Logan Ragnarok is how you can do that.
Yes, sir.
And if you guys want to follow him and see more action of him, you can do it right there on Ricky Morton's YouTube page. You can also follow the School of Morton right here directly on X. SOM Live 6 is how you follow them and get them up. Their Instagram page as well. Let's get off of the Santina Morella. The Instagram page as well, School of Morton _ is how you follow them directly right there. You can definitely check them out if you're interested in training through the School of Morton direct right here as well. And you can catch tickets to any of these shows that he's going to be a part of at the School of Morton right here, SOM Legacy, through ticketleap.com. You will search in the School of Morton into the browser right here at Newport, Tennessee. Click search event. It's going to take you to this beautiful page right here. And don't forget to get your discounted tickets with the special promo code RABBIDBeaver altogether. That's capital RABIDBEAVER. Now, Logan, do you have any merch that you're selling currently at the shows?
No, not at the moment. I do have a T-shirt that I've had, and I still have a good amount left. So, if anyone is willing to buy a T-shirt, you are more than welcome to buy my T-shirt and support yours truly.
And in the future, are you looking to get on Pro Wrestling Tees or Angry Lemonade or anywhere like that so you can sell more?
I'm trying to get on Pro Wrestling Tees, yes, sir. Just got to get more T-shirt designs, more 8x10s, professional photos. Any other type of merchandise. That's what I need to get to really sell good merch.
You keep us posted when you get that, sir. We're going to make you a QR code and we're going to get it out there for the people to see. And we will put it out there on the next episode. If you have it ready for us, we'll definitely get you good. And get you selling merchandise on any of those sites that you want to sell them on.
Absolutely.
Thank you. It would be our pleasure to do that for you, to help you out in any way possible and help the school out in any way possible. So if anybody out there is watching, like I said, and you would have booked this man, including Down Home Championship Wrestling. Oh, and you've got something special coming up, don't you? I believe that you're going to be a part of, is it Thunder Mountain Wrestling, if I'm not mistaken?
Yes,
there?
Thunder Mountain Wrestling. Yep, it's in south of Arizona. I don't know exactly the city, but it's going to be February 22nd, and I'll be in a Fatal 4-Way Texas death match. But in reality, like I have a bit of history with one of those men. We faced 1 year ago. His name is the German Dread Ramrock. This is his final year of being a full-time wrestler, and after 2025, he's done. And he's been at it for 15 years. We faced 1 year ago for a world championship. It was a hell of a battle, let me tell you that. And I'm looking forward to round 2. I don't care who the other 2 men are. I'm just going to charge at Ramrock full speed, like a full-on sprint, like a linebacker. I'm just going to go no mercy, no holding back.
So the beast will be unleashed, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. The Kratos in me will definitely come out February 22nd.
In that last match, you were not victorious, I do believe, as you mentioned earlier, and it has only fueled your fire more. Is that correct?
Absolutely. Once you add jet fuel, that rocket will ignite, and it's only going to go higher.
I can't agree with you more, because once you add fuel to that fire, it goes sky high and it blows at its own pace. And I'm going to tell you something. I wish you well over there at Thunder Mountain Wrestling. And in Down Home Championship Wrestling, what's coming up for you?
Well, I'll be in a tag team match against Lance Tucker and Chick Donovan.
Lance Tucker and Jake Donovan. Now, for those that don't know,
Chick Donovan.
Those that don't know about Down Home Championship Wrestling, where does it take place at?
It takes place in LaGrange, Georgia.
LaGrange, Georgia is where you guys want to go.
Yes, sir.
I do believe that they have a number that's up here. Let me just make sure that I'm telling this correctly. If you want to get in contact with them, it's 706-402-0424 is where you want to call to get in touch with them. You can get your tickets directly from them for their next show, which is going to be February 8th, and then also the show that you're talking about as well. Correct?
Correct.
And you guys want to do that. That's going to be located at 104 Swift Street in LaGrange, Georgia. United States is where it's going to be at. So if you guys are out there in the Georgia area and you want to see the beast from the Southeast himself, the uncaged breaker of spines, you definitely want to get those tickets now to do that. Logan, it's been a pleasure to have you here today, sir. I am ecstatic that you decided to come on the show and be with us here today. I'm ecstatic that you wanted to talk about all this great stuff that's going to be taking place for you in the future. And I'm going to tell you right now, sir, I'm looking for bigger and brighter things from you coming into the future. And I hope to see you get that East Tennessee Heavyweight Championship, if not within the next couple weeks, within the next month for sure. I want you to have that thing. I want you to come back on and talk to me when you get it. So thank you so much for being here. And for those of you out there watching today, thank you for joining us on whatever platform you were on. We appreciate you guys being here. I'm so sorry we had a cancellation with Bronson Garrett tonight. And Logan was so kind to step up in his place. Thank you so much for doing that. And we're going to get Bronson Garrett back on the show. We're scheduling a date with him after this show to get him back on for you guys. But we will get Bronson Garrett back on here tonight. Thank you, Logan, for being here. And remember, guys, you all heard it here first on Wrestle Talk with Arabbidb3aver. Bye-bye, guys.
Thanks, guys.